Bluey looks like just another kid's show until you spot the weird details, hidden jokes, and secrets no one talks about. 1. The healers might be hiding pockets in their fur. Okay, here's something totally bizarre. Bandit, Chilli, even Frisky sometimes pull off moves that don't make any sense unless they've got invisible pockets. In Ragdoll, Bandit takes a $10 bill and casually slips it between himself and the couch. And poof, it's gone. No pants, no pockets, just vanished. In Phones, Chilli grabs her phone and just tucks it away. Where exactly? It's not just a one-off. In Double Babysitter, Frisky pulls car keys right out of Rad's fur like that's completely normal. Are we supposed to believe their fur has magical storage space? Either it's cartoon logic, or these dogs are hiding tech NASA would envy. 2. Stripe thinks he's wearing sleeves, but he's definitely not. In the episode Stumpfest, Stripe gets ready to help dig out a tree stump. Before jumping into action, he does something totally confusing. He rolls up his sleeves, but here's the thing. Stripe isn't wearing any clothes. No shirt, no sleeves, just fur. Still, he goes through the full motion like he's prepping for battle. It's one of those blink and you'll miss it moments that makes you wonder if the healers are just really committed to the bit, or if they all think they're humans in dog bodies. Either way, it's hilarious and creepy. Someone tells Stripe his imaginary sleeves aren't fooling anyone. 3. Cats were real, and probably hunted. In Tradies, there's a strange painting hanging in the corner of Chilli's office. It shows a cave dog proudly holding a cat like it just finished hunting it. No joke, this isn't some cute cartoon drawing. It's a prehistoric style warning. Up until now, we've only seen cats in plush toys and pretend shows like Cat Squad. But this one creepy image might explain everything. Maybe cats did exist in Bluey's world, and the dogs wiped them out. It's dark, it's weird, and it changes how we see their happy little universe. What else are they hiding behind those wagging tails? 4. Bluey was probably named like a pet. Ever wonder why Bluey is called Bluey? It's not just a cute name, it's probably because of her fur color. Think about it. In the family meeting episode, we learn Bluey's full name is Bluey Christine Healer. Christine is a tribute to Nana, but Bluey, that sounds like something you'd call a dog based on how they look. And since ultrasounds can't show fur color, it means she was likely named after she was born. That's how people name pets, not babies. So, in this world, dogs are people, but still kind of treated like dogs. Wild. Right. 5. Chippy's tattoo is a secret love note. In Tradies, take a good look at Chippy, the tattooed tradie helping build the pond. On one arm, he's got a tiger. Cool enough. But on the other, 2 cherries. At first, it just seems random, but then we meet his girlfriend. And her name is Cherry. Suddenly, it all makes sense. That tattoo isn't just decoration, it's a permanent love letter inked into his fur. In a show full of stickers and crayons, this tiny detail stands out. It's weirdly romantic, oddly grown up, and kind of hilarious when you remember. These are animated dogs digging holes in someone's backyard. 6. Bandit's childhood bully grew up to sell his house. In the sign, Bandit looks seriously annoyed with the real estate agent trying to sell the healer home. That smooth-talking dog? His name is Bucky Dunstan, and he's no stranger. Back in the episode, Dragon, Little Bandit talks about a classmate who made fun of his drawings. Yep, that was Bucky. Now he's back, years later, trying to sell the very home Bandit built his life in. It's subtle, but it hits hard. The guy who crushed young Bandit's creative dreams is now literally trying to move him out. Bluey just turned childhood trauma into a real estate subplot. 7. Snickers. Without his cap is rarer than you think. Snickers, the lovable sausage dog, is never seen without his signature yellow cap. It's basically part of his head at this point. But if you look closely, there are only 2 moments in the entire series where Snickers goes hatless. The first is in Explorers, when he's rolling down a hill at school and the cap flies off mid-roll. Total accident. The second is in K9 News, where he takes it off on purpose while playing a news anchor because, clearly, professionalism requires proper headwear etiquette. These 2 quick scenes say a lot. Snickers might seem like a background character, but even he has subtle quirks and routines. The fact that we instantly notice when he's missing his hat proves how carefully each character is designed. That tiny yellow cap? It's not just a fashion choice, it's part of who Snickers is. 8. Jeremiah the gnome has seen some things. Everyone thinks Bandit takes the most damage in Bluey. He's been tackled, jumped on, and dragged through chaos. But the real MVP of pain, Jeremiah the garden gnome. This poor ceramic soul has been knocked over, face-planted, kicked, and even launched across the yard multiple times. In Backpackers, he takes a serious fall and gets a crack in his head. Then, in the sign, Frisky kicks him during an argument with Rat. But plot twist, the crack was already there. That means he's been suffering in silence for ages. Honestly, at this point, Jeremiah deserves his own spin-off. Survivor, Garden Edition. The healers may love their gnome, but the way they treat him? That's not love, that's low-key domestic violence. In ceramic form. 9. The $10 bill that vanished into thin air. In the episode Ragdoll, Bandit finds a $10 note on the floor. Bluey brings it to him, and instead of pocketing it, because, well, he has no pockets, he casually slides it between himself and the couch cushion. Nothing too weird, until he gets up. The bill is gone, completely vanished. There's no sound, no movement, no explanation. It just disappears like magic. Did it fall into a black hole between the cushions? Or did Bandit just absorb it into his fur like some sort of living wallet? This tiny moment is either a blink and you miss it joke, or more proof that these dogs operate on cartoon laws of physics. Either way, we may never know where that money went. But if the couch starts charging rent, we'll have our answer. 10. Socks grew up, and her legs prove it. If you've been watching Bluey from the early seasons, you probably remember Socks, the youngest cousin, crawling around on all fours like, well, a real puppy. But fast forward a few seasons, and something big changes. Socks starts walking upright, just like the other kids. At first, it feels like a small animation tweak, but it's actually a subtle sign of her growing up. Even her design shifts. Those little sock-like stripes on her legs disappear, almost like they were meant to show she was still babyish. Now that she's older, she's outgrown them. It's a quiet way of saying she's not just tagging along anymore. She's becoming her own little person. In a show full of talking dogs and floating furniture, this might be one of the most realistic things ever. 11. Chilli's grey hairs tell a quiet story. In Baby Race, we see a flashback of Chilli when Bluey was just a baby. She looks younger, full of energy, and noticeably, there's not a single grey hair on her. Fast forward to present-day episodes, and things have changed. Chilli now has soft grey streaks in her fur, especially around her face. It's easy to miss unless you're looking for it, but it's there. This isn't a mistake or random shading, it's a visual sign that time has passed. Chilli has aged just like real parents do. In a world where dogs talk and drive cars, it's these small touches that make Bluey feel strangely real. Even animated moms get tired. And apparently, grey. 12. The fridge door that can't make up its mind. In the Healer household, the fridge holds snacks, drawings, and apparently secrets. One of the weirdest? The fridge door can't decide which way it opens. In some episodes, like Dad Baby, the handle is on the right. In others like Pavlova, it's on the left. That means the door swings in opposite directions depending on the day. Is this a magical, self-updating appliance? Did Bandit secretly install a reversible hinge? Or is the animation team just having fun with us? Whatever the reason, it's one of those tiny inconsistencies that most people never notice, but once you do, you can't unsee it. That fridge is clearly up to something. 13. Bluey's future is full of drones and robo-dogs. In the episode Surprise, we finally get a glimpse of adult Bluey's world, and it's nothing like the Brisbane we're used to. The skyline is packed with shiny skyscrapers, the streets are cleaner, and the sky filled with delivery drones buzzing around like it's totally normal. But the real kicker? Even the long dog Easter egg shows up as a robot. That's right, a full-on robotic version of the iconic long dog, now upgraded for the future. It's a quick scene, but it says a lot. The creators didn't just age the characters, they aged the whole world with them. It's subtle sci-fi baked into family storytelling, and it's kind of genius. 14. This $5 bill has more adventures than most characters. You probably didn't notice it at first, but there's a single $5 bill in Bluey that travels through multiple episodes. And it basically has its own storyline. It starts in markets when Bluey spends it on a candy apple. Then it gets passed to Winton, then to the sausage vendor, and eventually ends up with the busker. That same bill? You'll spot it again in dance mode, sitting proudly on the busker's hat like a badge of honor. And finally, it shows up one last time in the quiet game, where the busker uses it to buy an ice cream. No words, no narration, just a traveling bill quietly threading together characters and episodes. Honestly, this piece of dog money deserves a credit in the cast list. 15th. Bandit and Chilli were basically sports legends. They may look like your average tired parents now, but Bandit and Chilli have some serious athletic history hiding in plain sight. In Dad Robot, you can spot a trophy with a big number 1 and a rugby ball beside it. Bandit's glory days. Then in the same hallway, there's a photo of Chilli proudly holding her own first-place trophy, likely from field hockey, which we know she loves. These quiet background details show us that before car seats and sunscreen battles, the healer parents were total sports champs. It's a subtle way the show builds their backstory without saying a word. No wonder they're so good at keeping up with Bluey and Bingo. Most days, anyway. 16. The healer house is basically a scrapbook. Look closely at the fridge, walls, and shelves in the healer house, and you'll notice something amazing. It's not just home decor, it's a living timeline. The drawings stuck on the fridge aren't random scribbles. They're snapshots of past episodes. You'll see Mia from Barky Boats, the duck cake from Duck Cake, even Rad and Frisky holding hands before they got married. There's also the wagon from Wagon Ride, and a moody drawing of Muffin with her usual angry face. These little pieces of art track the family's memories like a scrapbook you'd find in a real home. It's sweet, subtle, and totally brilliant. Bluey doesn't just tell stories, it saves them. 17. Greenie the balloon made a surprise comeback. Remember Mum School? That's the episode where Bluey adopts a green balloon named Greenie as her baby, only to set him free out the window at the end. It's a funny and sweet moment, but what makes it even better is what happens seasons later. In the sign, while the family is outside during Rad and Frisky's wedding, look up at the sky. Floating peacefully above Brisbane is none other than Greenie. Same color, same shape, just drifting by like he's been living his best balloon life all this time. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it proves something special. Nothing in Bluey is ever truly forgotten, not even a balloon. 18. The Sticky Gecko had its own gravity-fueled adventure. In the episode Bedroom, there's a tiny background detail that almost no one catches, but once you do, it's impossible to ignore. At the beginning, there's a purple sticky gecko clinging to the wall at the end of the hallway. No big deal, right? But as the episode plays out and the sisters argue, divide toys, and settle into their new rooms, that gecko starts peeling off the wall. First, it droops a little, then it sags more. By the time Bandit carries them to bed, it's practically hanging by a thread. Finally, when the girls leave Bluey's room, the gecko is completely gone. Now sitting in the plant below, it doesn't make a sound, it doesn't get mentioned, but it's a perfect example of how Bluey adds life to every frame, even if it's just a sticky toy obeying gravity. 19. Bluey's world quietly mirrors the real Brisbane. In Show and Tell, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment that connects Bluey's animated world to the real one. While the healers are driving, the camera briefly passes an electrical power box with a mural of Bluey and Bingo painted on it. It looks like just another cute background detail, until you realize it's real. That exact mural exists on Stafford Road in Brisbane, Australia. The animators didn't just invent a location, they recreated an actual local landmark. It's one of several times the show quietly honors its hometown, blending fiction with reality. You might be watching a talking dog family, but the world they live in? It's grounded in a real place, with real streets, real skies, and now, real power boxes. 20. Bandit's big job offer was hiding in plain sight. In the sign, we learned that Bandit got a huge job offer that nearly made the healers move away. But here's the wild part. It wasn't a last-minute twist. This storyline started over 40 episodes earlier. In Curry Quest, Bandit travels for 6 weeks, working on something mysterious. Then in Stickbird, he's distant during a family trip, clearly lost in thought. At the time, it just felt like background moodiness. But it all comes together in the sign, revealing he'd been offered a major role connected to those trips. This kind of slow, careful setup is what makes Bluey so clever. It hides big stories inside small moments. Bandit wasn't just on vacation, he was deciding his family's future, one Curry Quest at a time. That's the end of our list of hidden Bluey details. This show hides so much more than we ever noticed. Do you think these secrets are just for fun, or do they mean something deeper? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.